Right. So we're diving deep today, and I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about Rosalind Franklin.
Fascinating. Absolutely
Yeah,
fascinating.
a name that, maybe some people recognize immediately, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of people maybe don't. But we all benefit from her work every day, right?
Absolutely.
So we have some excerpts all about Rosalind Franklin,
Yes.
focusing on her contributions to,
Yeah.
one of the most important discoveries, I think, in
Yeah.
history,
Yeah.
understanding DNA.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to really understand Rosalind Franklin, her contributions and why she deserves, I think, a lot more recognition.
Absolutely. I think that, if you imagine, right, a world where we just don't know the structure of DNA, right?
Yeah.
Like we have no idea. We can't do genetic testing. We don't understand inherited diseases.
Right.
And we don't even have like the beginnings of modern biotechnology. I mean, that's the world before Rosalind Franklin.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we take it for granted now, right?
Completely. Yeah.
But, she was so instrumental in that discovery. So let's talk about her work. Specifically, how did she actually, what was so special about what she did that led to this?
Well, her specialty was X-ray crystallography.
Okay.
So you're taking these X-rays and you're basically shooting them at molecules
Right.
that have been crystallized.
Right.
And the X-rays diffract in a certain pattern based on that molecule structure. And then, scientists, they analyze that pattern
Yeah.
and they can actually construct a 3D model.
Wow. So, I mean, she was clearly like a master at
Yeah.
this technique, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's through that mastery that she was able to get this very, very famous image.
Right.
You might have heard of it, Photo 51.
Soda 51, yeah. I mean, okay, so that's a picture of DNA, right? But what made it so special? Was it just the first picture? What was it about it?
Yeah. Well, it really came down to, the clarity of the image and the specific diffraction pattern it showed, right?
Right.
It was just so much more definitive, and really it provided the visual evidence for the double helix structure.
Okay, so this is what we picture now, right? When we think of DNA, that sort of twisted ladder.
Exactly. Exactly.
So she took the picture that basically was like, boom, here it is.
That's the key.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because this image became crucial evidence
Yeah.
for James Watson and Francis Crick, who, a lot of people think of when they think of the DNA structure.
Right, because they published the groundbreaking paper.
Exactly.
So hold on. So she takes the picture that helps them make this discovery, but they get the credit?
Well, it's a complicated story, right? I mean, they definitely built on her work, and they used Photo 51 without her knowing about it or consenting to it.
Yeah.
So it really raises some interesting questions, about scientific collaboration, attribution, and, the role of women in science back then.
Well, yeah, and even now to some extent, unfortunately, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
But so she didn't, I mean, it sounds like she didn't get the recognition she deserved.
Not at the time, no.
What kind of person was she, outside of just this amazing discovery?
Well, everything we know about her points to someone who was fiercely independent, just completely dedicated to her work. She did face a lot of challenges, being a woman in a male-dominated field.
Right.
But she never, ever wavered in her pursuit of knowledge. I mean, she really just kept going.
I can only imagine it was pretty tough.
Oh, absolutely. But, she was brilliant. She was so analytical. She was driven like a true force of nature, basically. And her contributions, I mean, they go beyond just DNA. I mean, she did amazing work on the structure of viruses too, which, that was foundational to our understanding of these, complex biological entities.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is.
Like if we talk about genetic testing, disease research, all of it stems from understanding the structure of DNA.
Yeah.
And that's Rosalind Franklin's legacy,
Absolutely. And I think as people continue to learn more and more about genetics, it's important to always remember her, the woman who really helped unlock these secrets. And I think it's a good reminder, right, that there are so many unsung heroes in science.
Right.
And that there's still a fight going on, to make science a more equal place for everyone.
Yeah. And it's important to recognize these people, to remember them, to give them the credit that they deserve. So Rosalind Franklin, brilliant scientist, crucial discoveries and a story that needs to be told.
Absolutely. I think it's also interesting to think about, right, we've talked so much about the structure of DNA,
Right.
but, now we can manipulate it, right? So what are the ethical questions, right?
Yeah.
That raises that's something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Food for thought, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Rosalind Franklin. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening.